Hello, hello, and welcome once again to another day of NGS action. Now, today we are going to be going over to the Heroic Division with a match between a Solid School and potential Scrim Thursday. Now, looking over at the standings, this is going to be a pretty heavyweight game. The Solid School currently sitting at 14 points, sitting in third. Potential Scrim Thursday in fifth with 9 points. So this should be a pretty fun game, should be a pretty close game. When I did interview Solid School last week, they said this was the team that they were looking at to potentially be the difference makers for this season. And now the map pick and bans have already come through. We've already selected it. And the coin toss was won by Solid School, but potential Scrim, and they took first pick. Potential Scrim Thursday took map pick, I believe, anyway. Let me just double check. Yes. All right, but with that, going to the map picks, we have banned over by potential Scrim Thursday, Volskaya Foundry and Alterac Pass, and a Solid School ban, Dragon Shire and Tomb of the Spider Queen, with the final pick being Battlefield of Eternity. I'm definitely looking forward to this game. Battlefield of Eternity is one of my favorite maps. I mean, I mention this every time, but Battlefield of Eternity, that's where the real action happens. That's where the real stories are made. And I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of story they're going to be able to make tonight. Now, we are currently in the process of making the lobby. Already got 9 out of the 10 players, so hopefully should be starting soon. Let me just double check one little thing. I feel like the teams may have swapped on me. Am I correct? No, they're fine. Everything's fine. I worry too much. But yeah, this is going to be, I believe it's my first Battlefield of Eternity Heroic game this season. So I'm really excited to see what these players pull out. And specifically, I'm curious about Vala. Now, the reason I'm curious about it is because I've been seeing a lot of conversations about it from various people at various levels. Because for a long time, Vala has definitely been known as one of the top racer heroes in the game for Battlefield of Eternity because of that level 7 talent that gives an extra 150% damage to the Hungering Arrow. But some people have said that you only really get that value at about the 3rd Immortal sometimes. So with that, you're pretty much giving away the early game because Vala, when she builds Hungering Arrow, does not DPS well before that talent. So I'm very curious to see if both teams agree to that. If there's someone who decides to go more for the late game and they're okay with giving up the early game for that. And it's just a little question of timing. So specifically these higher level teams, they're the ones that will care more. They're the ones that will focus primarily on this. Now, 10th player has joined, so we're just waiting for the ready checks, and then we will have this big map number 1. And before we get in, once again, quick shout out to the sponsor for today's stream, Tiki Solitaire 3peaks, exclamation 3peaks in the chat, or click the panel down below. Now, hopefully we are going to be getting started soon. Now, out of the other heroes, this is also one of the few maps where Artanis can be picked. I have seen it picked at every single level on this map, on Battlefield of Eternity anyway. And that's because, and I've seen it played in multiple different ways. I've seen it played over in the offlane, and I've seen it picked over in the, how do I put this? And I've seen it picked over in the forecourt as the melee assassin. Oh, and I was actually lied to. We did not have all 10 players. We had 4 players and a rando. The rando got removed, and now the proper 10th player is back. So that's interesting how someone was just able to join. That's so funny. I don't know why people do that. Just causing chaos for no reason. I mean, it's not a big deal, but it's like just slightly annoying. But now it looks like both teams are ready to go. So we should be getting started soon. Okay, yeah, we got the final ready checks. Everyone's agreed to go. And hopefully this will be it. And we're going to be starting game number 1. Checking on the delay. Okay, yep, we're going in. Game number 1. All right, and here we are. Gonna be the first draft of hopefully many. But at the very least, 2 drafts will be happening today versus a solid school and potential scrim Thursday. Now, first pick is going to be on the side of potential scrim Thursday, but this also means a solid school will have the last pick counter. And I'm wondering what these 2 teams prioritize for this. So obviously the map was picked by potential scrim Thursday, so they may prefer having this map over second pick. Or over... Wait, why are they first pick? A solid school, I guess, chose to be second pick, so they do want the counter over on their side. Not sure if that is correct. I don't know the rules. I'm not going to bother looking at it, but the first ban is going to come through last second. It is the Genji, banned away by Moon. Trying to get rid of that big playmaker, able to move between lanes very quickly, able to be an absolute menace on defense because can just slowly poke away, can kind of throw out the deflect, and it's so difficult to play into it. But a solid school going to answer that with the Hogger ban. And the Sergeant Hammer will be the third ban coming out from potential scrim Thursday. Just getting rid of a lot of those annoying DPSs. And Lucio going to get banned by a solid school, so draft moving pretty quickly here. Both teams took a while to get started, but once we got the draft going, they knew exactly what they wanted to remove. Now, the Hogger removal is pretty interesting to me. I do think Hogger is very good on this map, is able to DPS onto the Immortals pretty heavily. Obviously does well in most matchups in the off lane. And then on top of that, the Hortipult and the Shockwave both give a lot of value during these team fights, and someone's left the lobby, so 3 days in a row we've had issues. I wonder why. I wonder what happened. Yes, okay, so that was an issue. They did reset. So what happened is they had separate picks, and they were supposed to have Team 1 be first pick, but instead Team 2 had first pick. Like, Assault School was the one that should be getting it. Okay, I was confused there. I was pretty sure that is how that's supposed to go. So they are just going to be remaking it. And then there's also going to be a swap for one of the players. Oh yeah, I should turn the music back on if we're going to be here, but we will be making a new lobby soon. Well, the lobby's still there. Just hopefully we'll be able to restart the game soon. Yeah, strange starts this week. I think this is the 3rd day in a row we've had some issues trying to get games started. Day 1 was a broken router. Day 2 was broken Wi-Fi. And game 3 is going to be a lobby restarted improperly, and then they swap away the players. Okay, so we should be getting ready soon again. Gonna let them know I'm ready to get started. And it looks like we will be going back into the draft now. They did say they want to keep the same bans, but with separate draft picks. I don't know if that's correct, if that's what they should be doing, but I guess we're gonna have to see. Oops, that's the right button. Alright, but there was a slight swap. C10 ver HD1 is stepping in for DH Bob. Other than that, it's the same lineup we've had earlier. Now, I am still wondering about these same bans because I do think there is a difference between the bans you would do when you're first pick and when you're second pick. But we're just going to have to wait and see how both these two teams go for it. If both the teams are okay with it, obviously I don't care. My job's not to comment on the rules, and I don't even know the rules all that well. So I'm not even going to bother attempting. But same bans so far, Hogger Lucio for a solid school, Genji and Sergeant Hammer, potential Scrim Thursday. But Vala is still open. Now I'm wondering if a solid school, if they're going to pick it up first now that they're first pick. There is a bit of a delay here. And I was talking about Vala before, and obviously she's really good after level 7 on this map. And yeah, they are going to hand it over to potential Scrim Thursday. Uth are going to get locked in for the cure. And I don't think that's one of those heroes that'll prevent you from picking Vala. If they're ready to first pick it, they're ready to pick it into anything regardless. They knew it was going to get countered. So ComputeX going to stay on Vala. And with that, all the drama regarding the draft is over. So absolutely no point for me to continue on to that point. But now looking at these compositions, next pick is going to be the Diablo for C10. Big, beefy devil in the front. And I'm wondering if that's going to bring out something like the Melthiel, the Tychus, even the Hanzo, just something that has percent damage. Like, commonly not used, but I've been noticing Falstad with the auto attack build can also do it, but obviously on a 2-lane map, not going to be the best, at least for the auto attack build. But Azuriel going to lock in the Greymane, and Jazz going to lock in Muradin. Now, I'm really liking the front line right now from a solid school. With Muradin and Uther, I almost called it Muradin and Nuradin, I don't know why. But with Muradin and Uther in the front line, they're going to be pretty beefy. They're going to have a lot of crowd control, and it's all low cooldown crowd control, which I think is very important, especially on a map like Battlefield of Eternity, where there's constant skirmishes whenever the Immortals are up. But with that, the Hanzo is going to get banned away. They're also worried about that percent health damage. Tychus is still available. Greymane will have that cursed bullet, so the start of the team fight could definitely deal a lot more damage. Assuming that's the heroic ability they do go for, as Oriel will also get banned away by a solid school. And it looks like to me Greymane is going to be the person doing most of the racing. Obviously huge DPS, should do well in that. And Shoepuff will lock in the Blaze in the off lane most likely. And Moon going to lock in the Whitemane. Now I've been trying to learn some healer just so I can commentate a little bit better. And oh boy, am I bad at Whitemane. It's been a lot of fun learning her. I mean, for example, I had no idea how her whole mana thing worked, even though that's literally the core of her kit. I used to play competitive, by the way. And the whole desperation stacks, I think it's a really cool mechanic. She's able to bring out a lot of burst heal, but in return, she's not going to be able to really do much else after that. So I'm going to try paying a bit more attention to how Moon plays, just for selfish reasons. But on the other side of the draft, Hero going to lock in the Leoric, and Mundane Zebra going to lock in the Falstad. Now, I did mention Falstad does have the percent HP talent if it's the auto attack build. I'd be surprised if it is. I think Hammerang is definitely going to be better here, makes more sense, just because it's a 2-lane map and it's so much harder to stack it up. And double healer coming out for potential Scrim Thursday. Double healer, double tank. If you call Blaze a tank, he's kind of a bit of both. But Malfurion and Whitemane. This is going to be really interesting because right now it seems like each team has someone to race, which is Azuriel's Greymane and ComputeX's Vala, and the rest of the team is just about either protecting them or fighting the enemy teams, which means this is going to be a game with quite a bit of action. Hopefully I'm not overselling it, but we'll see as we head into game number 1. All right, and we're in game number 1 between a solid school and potential Scrim Thursday. Gonna be a pretty big game as we do. It is, in fact, the auto attack build coming out from the Falstad. Okay. Now, like I always say when these situations arise, I trust the players more than I trust myself. And I like making these calls, especially when I'm wrong. My philosophy is whenever you're wrong about something, it means you're about to learn something new. Unless, of course, this Falstad goes 0-10. But we'll see how that goes later on. But it is going to be 4 players from potential Scrim Thursday going over to the bot side, but only 3 from Solid School, as they're bringing Mundane Zebra starting at the top side. Does have flight, so in theory could shove out that wave and then go back down, get a few extra stacks to start. But Flight is a pretty long cooldown. It may take a bit of time. Now, Solid School playing a bit back, but Shoopuf is playing forward. And maybe that's where the action's going to happen. A couple autos coming out from Mundane Zebra. Not going to amount to much, but they are jumping fully onto Shoopuf. Shoopuf gonna put out the trait, and with Jet Propulsion, we'll be able to get away. Drain Hope not going to be enough. So no kills going over on that top side. But now Jazz able to get the stun as Zero. Just a couple autos for fun. Computex already at 2 stacks of Puncturing Arrow. And Vengeful Roots going to be very fun to watch as well. Those guys I actually didn't even know this talent. I've never played Malfury, but every time the trance spawns, deals an extra 7 damage. Or every time they hit, I believe. With the Entangling Roots anyway. That's actually a really fun talent. I had no idea that existed in the game. I'm just trying to learn talents here. But now Zero is walking, trading with Computex, but that is an extra stack going over to Computex. And now there's 2 members from both teams on the top side, so Solid School wants to fight for the siege camp. They're going to start on it first. They've already taken down 1, but now the Entangling Roots on the back line. But Jazz playing forward, and Mundane Zebra is here with the Flight. They're looking towards AoE Rules, and they have the inside track, but AoE Rules able to just walk away. But in the meanwhile, Solid School, they do have pressure on the camp, and they will be able to secure. But in the meanwhile, over the top side, Hero also gets taken down as Moon and Shoopuf able to get the kill. But decent amount of damage over on the building. And now the overpower Mundane Zebra in a bad spot. Has to use the barrel roll. But now they have a hammer, and AoE Rules is going to get taken down. And Computex will follow as Azuriel jumps onto the backline. And action across both of these 2 lanes. But the main point is with that kill, they have the siege camp already here. They have a double wave pushing. They should be able to deal a lot of damage to this wall. But now Jazz gets thrown to the back with a Shadow Charge. But we'll be able to just Dwarf toss away to safety. And this entire wall is going to get taken down. This Mundane Zebra is getting poked away by the Inquisition. Another little Fire Stomp from C10. Not going to land as both sides get started on their Bruiser camp. Already almost a full level lead for a Solid School. And they had a pretty solid start there. A little bit of trading over the top side. His Hero just doesn't care about the damage. Is just trying to tank up a little bit. But C10 is here. But with Azuriel following, there is no play to be had. The Bruiser camp already pushing over to the bot side. And Computex and Moon should be able to finish theirs off shortly. And now the Immortals have spawn. And it is going to be the tall spawn. Now, most of the focus is happening over the top side. Neither side close to level 7 yet. A full level still needed for a Solid School, so they are uneven talents despite the lead. But Hero looking forward with the Drain. Hope will get hit into the backline, but with the Wraith Walk, we'll be able to walk back. But now they have the stun. They have the Entangling Roots. Hero might be getting stuck a little bit, but there's not enough damage to follow up. Jet Propulsion does not under Azuriel. Shoopuf gonna get hit by the Hammer of Justice. Mundane Zebra's on the backline, just hitting onto AoE Rules, and they're able to get Shoopuf. And now, how much more can they get? They're on to Moon. All 5 members. Moon definitely gonna go down. But can they get even more? They're still looking. C10 gonna get stunned, and stunned again. And another slow, trying to get away with the Shadow Charge. But that's C3 for nothing for a Solid School. And with that, the first Immortal, at the very least the first half of the Immortal, definitely has to be given up by a Solid School. They're not able to race quite as well before the level 7, as level 7 is hit now by a Solid School. So they're not going to be able to fight this either. The respawn timers are short, so if they can get a pick off, maybe they could try contesting it, but it'll definitely be hard. What they can do is just DPS it a little bit to lower the amount of shield they have to deal with later. But they look like they want to continue moving forward. Entangling Roots is going to land on a Jazz, and Shoopuf is here as well. But they are down to talent. Jet Propulsion does land, and Hero is unstoppable, trying to get away. And one more hit will be able to get the kill with the Twin Streams. But now they have the Entangling Roots once again, and they have the stun, and they're onto Azuriel, who is cleansed, but will be able to jump away with Morgan form. And it's a 1-for-0, a potential Scrim Thursday. They get something back. Unfortunately, their kill was on Hero, which is the hero that is going to be able to respawn the quickest. Now they're already hitting onto this Immortal. Computex trying to do their best. Has the Monster Hunter talent now, which obviously also makes clearing away this Immortal a lot easier. Jazz gonna get thrown back, not gonna get hit by the Entangling Roots, as they are trying to clear it away and defend their fort. The fort is taking a decent amount of damage, but it's hard right now for a Solid School to walk up. They have 3 members here with the Immortal, but they do have 2 pushing over the bot side. Shoopuf starting to get quite low, actually, and Hero looking to play aggressively. Has a Drain Hope. One more auto coming from Mundane Zebra, And the Drain Hope will get the last hit. Hero able to land that kill for themselves. So they get a kill in the bot side. They take down all the walls. A good chunk of damage onto the top lane fort. And a little bit over on the bottom. A solid school in a solid position as they look towards the siege camp. But with the Hungering Arrow coming out from Computex, will back away from it. They do have the top side, and now the fight is coming through. Hammer of Justice lands on a C10, but C10 quite tanky. Not a lot of DPS here. And the Kira is in a bit of a bad spot, but will not get thrown back into the fort. Siege Camp is pushing out top. Shoepuff already here as well. Going to help clear this out. And Diablo very good at wave clear. One definitely the strongest suit. Stormhammer just going to land on Shoepuff, but with the Entangling Roots, Jazz is going to get thrown back with the Overpower as well. But now they have the Hammer of Justice onto Shoepuff, and Shoepuff starting to get low, but they do have the stun. C10 looking on the backline in the meanwhile, onto Jazz right now. Will throw Jazz backwards, and Jazz should be able to just jump away with the Dwarf Toss. And that will be the end of that fight, or so I thought. But now Jazz once again getting jumped upon, and the double Hungering Arrow just hitting. But now the heroic abilities are up, and they have the level 10 advantage over potential Scrim Thursday. This is going to be a much more difficult position, and AoE rules is also out of mana. We'll have to reset. But now Hero gets caught out a little bit. Hungering Arrow just to deal the double damage, but the Entomb not going to land onto anyone. There are camps that at potential Scrim Thursday have to deal with before they can walk forward. And a solid school going to finish off their Bruiser camp just to add even more to the flames. Now AoE rules trying to walk forward, looking for the play. Level 10 almost hit by them. Just need a little bit more soak, but they're deciding to fight instead. They have the Inquisition onto Hero. Jazz looking for the front line. Will just get pushed back with the Overpower. Jet Propulsion does land out of 3, but the Guz and the Avatar popped her as well. Shoepuff into bad spot. Level 10 is now here. They have the stun. Hero's going to go down, and the Cure is also going to get finished off. I thought that was Azuriel, but Azuriel is in the process of just running away. And potential Scrim Thursday use their level 10 timing and are able to surprise them with their heroes coming out immediately. And now they're also going to get the stun. They're going to get another follow-up. And with the Crimson Aegis, most of the team is decently healthy, but now Hero has respawned. Computex just DPSing onto this Immortal. The Entomb in the backline, but there's no follow-up. Jazz is looking from the sideline. But without Azuriel there, without the Cure, it is a little bit dangerous to try pushing on their own. However, what they do have is the Bruiser camp pushing over on the bot side. Someone will have to deal with that as Shoepuff does roam down. But now this could be an opportunity, and AoE rules gets jumped upon. It gets burst, and they're going to follow it up with a second. Moon's going to go down. Computex was just trying to DPS. But with the entire roster of a solid school not able to do that, does have the tap. So can try to come back as now C10 also in a bad spot. But with the extra stun, C10 still alive somehow. Getting healed up a little bit by the Fire Stomp. And will get an extra heal there. And now they're looking for the Cure. Now the Cure gonna get stunned into the wall. And they will be able to trade a 1-for-1. No, the Twin Stream's not enough damage. Computex will be able to get the kill though. Has the multi-shot over in the backline. So now it's 5v4 in the favor of potential Scrim Thursday. And Computex is looking to burst it down, but I don't know if that's the way you want to go through with it. They will have the Aegis coming through and just need one more auto on the Immortal. They do get it, and Computex somehow still alive. And that's just with a single healer. Now Jazz in a bad spot will get finished off as well. So that's 1-for-1 trade, but the Immortal going the way of potential Scrim Thursday. And on top of that, they were able to protect their fort. They were able to keep it alive just barely. Both their top and bottom forts are in dire straits. They're in really bad spots. But with the Immortal going the way of potential Scrim Thursday, they could try and even out the map pressure a little bit. C10 was watching their angles. They don't see anyone there. And now this is where the issue could happen. Shoepuff trying to clear with his topside with Hero. Does get the Jet Propulsion stun. But it's not going to be enough. And interestingly enough, it is the Combustion. But now the fight going over into the bot side. They have the Hammer of Justice onto C10. And another Stormhammer as well. They're trying to keep C10 alive. And with the Entangling Roots, might be okay. But with the extra healing, the Guz pushing them back. They're able to take down Malfurion. They're able to take down C10. And now Moon use the Crimson Aegis. Rain of Vengeance to the backside. But Moon will get finished off as Computex will be the only survivor in this bot lane. The top lane fort does go down for potential Scrim Thursday, but they were able to finish off the bottom one. But now Hero trading with Shoepuff. Computex is on the way though, and Computex does have damage. Will be clearing out this wave. And they're still looking at Hero. Has one, has two. Both Hungry Arrows spinning onto them, and will be able to get the burst. Mundane Zebra is going to be here as well. But now it's 2 versus 1. Who's going to win this? Mundane Zebra able to kill one and able to run away with the barrel. Now Shoepuff is in a bad spot. All 5 members are jumping up top. Shoepuff is going to get slow with the entangling roots. They have the slow, and C10 able to get them over into the backside. And they also throw out the Twilight Dream as AoE Rule still trying to back away. And this Malfurion isn't as tanky. Lightning Breath just for zoning. And the Cure starting to tank a little bit more damage, but they don't have any DPS. Jet Propulsion not going to land, and Hammer of Justice will prevent it. But now Hero is going to get hit into this backline as well. The Treant doing massive damage now, 19 stacks, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's almost 140 bonus attack damage for the Treant. So you do got to respect it because they can hit at least a couple times. And now the Bruiser Camp going to get cleared away by a potential Scrim Thursday. And this is a very action-packed game. A lot of plays coming through from both teams. And during all that, by the way, Assault School did finish off the second fort. So the building advantage is in their hands with this push. Bot side should be able to be evened out if they're able to maintain the wave. However, top side will be passively pushing into potential Scrim Thursday. The Bruiser Camp also about to get finished off by a Solid School at Zero, and the Cure gets started on that. But C10 looking to invade onto it. They have the view. They see Jazz, but the positioning just isn't quite there. Level 16 is going to get hit for them. And now Solid School, they have the town advantage. They have the Bruiser Camp already. And C10 just trying to get away, but Hero able to get the Entomb on every single member. Now the combustion over the backside is there for damage, and it does deal a lot, but they're still surviving. The Gust is going to push Moon back, but the stuns are still coming through. They're able to get it onto 2. They traded back onto a 0, and the slow, the silence on Hero. Hero's still healing up, and the Treant just dealing so much damage. Lightning Breath over top onto Jazz, onto the Cure, but AoE Rules is going to get finished off. C10 is the last survivor. One more auto, and that'll be it. 5 for 2 in favor of Solid School. And Mundane Zebra already at 27 stacks for 12 minutes. That's a lot, especially on a 2-lane map. We'll be clearing out this top lane as Jazz trying to solo DPS onto it. And interestingly enough, it is the Sledgehammer build coming through. So Muradin, actually a very solid DPS for these races, though it does cost the mana and the engage ability. Now C10 trying to push out this bot side as the Bruiser Camp is pushing through. Already at the halftime mark, still no level 16 for potential Scrim Thursday, and lots of their heroic abilities are not back up. And with this spawn, you definitely do not contest. You just let it go. Well, a lesser team may have said that, but now they do have the Entomb, and they're able to prevent Moon from coming forward. They have the Inquisition on a Hero, but they're just going to back away. And they have full control once again over onto this Immortal. But Assault School, they know they don't have to fight, but with the Gust, they're able to get into the backside. They're onto AoE Rules, but they had the cleanse. And now Computex still trying to just DPS onto Moon. 1 Hungering Arrow, 2, able to deal so much damage. These Hungering Arrows are so powerful. 31 stacks on that. But the push is going to be coming through. Mundane Zebra just immediately going to back up. And they know that if they're not able to get onto the Immortal, they have the power in terms of the wave push. Now Jazz is fighting with C10. Just going to be a little bit of a stun. Lightning Breath even burned as well just to get Jazz away from there. As Computex still trying to DPS, but Computex is the solo racer. They need to fight, but Computex in a bad spot. Will get burst in one hit. Now they don't have the Scarlet Aegis, but Hero is in the backline. They get the stun into the wall, overpower as well. And with the combustion, should be finished off, but no massive healing coming out instead. And now they have the Twilight Promise and able to get one back. It's 1 for 1 right now. Jet Propulsion lands on a 2, but the D-Shield is already on Azuriel, and Azuriel just jumping on the AoE Rules. AoE Rules gotta go down. Shoepuff stunned with the Hammer of Justice and the slow. Jet Propulsion's back in, but there's just nowhere to go. The Cure able to have the Hammer of Justice and the Storm Hammer and the auto attack stuns, just everything coming through, and it's a 5 for 1 with the waves pushed in favor of a Solid School, and for good measure, they're gonna take the Immortal as well. And with this play, they're gonna be able to push very heavily. I think they might be able to get both the keeps this time around. Depends how well Computex can defend, but this is not an easy defense. 1v3 with the Siege Camp, with the empowered Muradin hammers onto this wall. Makes it very difficult to try and fighting into it, but now they're able to just walk back in. But the keep will stand for now, sitting at about 1k HP. Shouldn't take too long when they do choose to come back. But now the Immortal finally landing over on this top side of the map. Level 20 is going to be hit, and the wind wall into the Entomb, and they're able to get one. Scarlet Angels does come out. The Cure is going to get stunned underneath the wall, though will get finished off. So that's going to be a 1-for-1 trade, definitely in favor of PTS. But in the meanwhile, they do lose their bottom keep, and this Immortal still pushing on the top side. Should be able to take them both down, and the second keep will get finished off. Now Jazz looking for the play on the Moon, but C10's the one in bad spot. They focus down the Diablo. They're able to burn it down, and now Moon trying to stay forward, but with another stun, will be able to finish that off, and that should be all she wrote. Shootpuff and Computex trying to play their hardest, but the DPS just is not there. Shootpuff trying to hide behind the wall, will get finished off as well. Avatar gonna get popped. Computex still trying, but Azuriel jumping, dealing so much damage. But with the Stormhammer, they don't have enough to finish it off, but they don't need to take down Computex when they can just take down the Immortal, or when they can take down the Cure. But they do have Computex down, they do have the core, and game number 1 goes to a solid school. And what a great showing by a solid school. They were able to play extremely well. They got a couple leads early. And I think most importantly, there were positions where they knew they couldn't win a team fight when they were fighting for the Immortal. And they knew to just back off, play the waves. And that kind of patience is what brought them this win. It gave them those small advantages. And when they did win the team fights, when they fought where they knew they could win, the waves were already pushed in and they could get so much more value out of it. I really like what I'm seeing from this team. I like their macro, and obviously their micro doesn't leave a lot to be desired. I don't think we can see the stacks here, but Falstad was incredibly powerful with this frequent flyer. Now that being said, we're going to go to a short break, but when we come back, it'll be game number 2, so don't go anywhere.
Ayahuasca will show you absolutely clearly and honestly really why you behave in the way that you did. Sometimes you may have been mean or harsh to another person and pass that off as absolutely the right thing to do under the circumstances. Ayahuasca will show you it was the wrong thing to do. It will show you that anger and ego and arrogance and pride in your own personality are not serving you and are not helpful. And it will keep teaching you these lessons again and again and again, showing you starkly and honestly how you are until you start fixing your behavior and improve the way that you function in the world and work hard to become a less toxic and more positive person.
A less toxic and more positive person.
All right, and we are back for game number 2, Infernal Shrines, between a solid school and potential Scrim Thursday. Now, first pick is going to be going to potential Scrim Thursday. That's what they selected. So this map was picked by a solid school. Now, we saw the Hogger ban in game number 1. I presume Hogger will be banned in game number 2 as well. This is one of Hogger's best maps, and I'd even argue the best map for Hogger. And the best hero for this map is also Hogger. So I'd be incredibly shocked to see if they do pull it through. Now, Johanna, gonna be the first ban. And in general, you want control and maybe something to deal damage over the top, as Hogger gets banned instantly by a solid school. No surprises there. So someone like Johanna is able to take very good control of the area for the shrines. And anyone that's able to DPS long distance over the wall, especially with AoE, is going to be able to kill the skeleton super fast. So even if you don't have the proper positioning for it, you're going to be able to finish it off. Finish off the skeletons and still compete for the race while you either use that time to readjust or whether you use that time to just straight up win over the wall. But now Nubrak going to be the second ban from potential Scrim Thursday, and Lucio the second ban for a solid school. So now a little bit of a different pick ban coming out from potential Scrim Thursday. They did want to get rid of 2 of the tanks, while a solid school hasn't really changed their bans at all. They're sticking with the Hogger. They're sticking with the Lucio. Clearly more worried about the picks themselves rather than the map and potential composition that could come from it. But AoE Rule is going to lock in Junkrat. Now, Junkrat's one of the few heroes that has both of those attributes that I mentioned. Has the AoE damage over the wall to try and snipe down some of those skeletons, but is also really good at controlling an area. With the snap traps, with the concussion mine, it's so difficult to walk into an area if Junkrat's there first. But now Dahaka and Diablo going to get locked in for Hero and Jazz. Very beefy front lines shown quite early. And this is a map where Tychus performs quite well. So I wouldn't be too surprised if potential Scrim Thursday do decide to go for that. And on the other note, there is still Oriel available. Pretty high priority healer right now, but not always high priority early on in the draft. But it's going to be the Anduin and the Hanzo instead. Hanzo also has the Giant Slayer, so we'll be able to damage Diablo quite heavily, especially in those tight corridors where we can land every single scatter shot onto them. And Anduin, obviously just good healer. Not too much to be said about that. But it does leave a lot to be desired. And Stitch is going to be banned away. And you can do some pretty nifty combos with Stitches, Anduin, and Junkrat. Able to get them so far back. You land the hook, land the gorge, leap of faith, into a trap, into a concussion mine. Very difficult to play out. But Oriel going to be the second ban coming through for potential Scrim Thursday. And Greymane and Uther once again going to get locked in by a solid school. Azuriel performed really well in that Greymane, able to deal so much damage. And that's considering half the time they were just hitting on the Immortal. But the damage numbers did not lie. Azuriel was definitely dealing it. And the Kira, another beefy frontliner coming out from a solid school. Obviously, when in healer role, goes slightly different talent build that prioritizes more healing than tankiness. But we'll still be good at both. And now to match the front line, Muradin for C10 and Leoric for Shoepuff. And that's going to give quite a bit of value over to this front line. And it will help Hanzo and Junkrat keep their positioning. They are both long range, and they're not quite as strong DPSs compared to, well, the Greymane, the Vala, something like that. And if they have the front line, they will be able to DPS very heavily. Because they have the positioning, they have the safety, and they can just keep throwing all their abilities over the wall. And even the autos coming out from, well, both of them, really. Now, 10th pick is going to be the Genji. So, potential Scrim Thursday didn't ban it this time around, but it was available. And Mundane Zebra is going to pick that up. So, we have the 2 drafts, and it's time to head into game number 2. But before we do, I would like to give a quick shout out to Tiki Solitaire 3peaks, today's sponsor. And I could tell you about it, or you could let them do it. All right, and we are back. Game number 2 between A Solid School and potential Scrim Thursday. Now, right now, both these two teams do look like they're going to be moving over towards this mid lane. So hopefully we can finally have those fabled 10-man full team fight at the start of the game. They're walking into each other, but who's going to go first? Mundane Zebra walking up immediately. Got to get stunned. Got to get rooted. Knocked to the backline. And there we go. First blood already. But the fight's still not over. C10 going to get thrown to the backline underneath the towers. And will get traded 1-for-1 for both these two teams. Tank for DPS. And that's the action we all love to see to start a game. But it is going to give 4 stacks to Simple Geometry for Computex. And that's definitely going to raise the amount of DPS early on. But also 10 stacks for a Wave of Light and the 10 souls for Jazz. But with that, Shoepuff gonna go up to the top side, matching Hero. As it seems Hero is going to be double soaking this time around. Either that, but they are looking for Mundane Zebra. They have the stun. They have more damage, but Deflect gonna be coming through. And with the dash, we'll be able to get away. Moon gets dragged by Hero. But no follow-up. Can't drag them too far back, so they will be okay. But they are showing that they do have the DPS to burst down Mundane Zebra if they're able to land either the Chastise or the Stormhammer. And as you get later into the game, they're going to have more and more DPS available to them. But now the first siege camp is going to go down in favor of A Solid School. And now both sides will go over to their own siege camps here. C10 just kind of watching the neutral ground. Jazz doing the same, but closer towards the mid lane. Potential Scrim Thursday gonna be able to finish theirs off first, and now they're gonna start walking up to this top side, and they're looking to engage. C10 gonna jump in with the Dwarf Toss. They have the stun. Concussion Mine as well, just gonna knock Jazz further away, but Jazz still trying to go forward, has the healing, has the HP, and now Shoepuff is gonna be here as well. They're jumping onto the cure. They do have the main DPS done. Shoepuff still trying to stand on the point, but there's just no one else to really support them, and they have already taken the siege camp. A Solid School able to get a kill and an objective, or I should say, and a camp. Shoepuff may follow, trying to heal up with Drain Hope, and will be okay. Able to dodge away on some of those shuriken. But that's still 2-for-1 and 2 camps in favor of A Solid School. So they are slowly but surely growing their lead. They have the 1 extra kill as AoE Rules gets started on the Bruiser camp. Mundane Zebra is looking. AoE Rules is quite low. Could definitely be an option, but the rest of the squad is here. Moon gonna heal up AoE Rules, and all will be well for them. And the Bruiser camp is gonna get answered on the opposite side. A Solid School also brought 3 members. Azuriel gonna have to reset though. Might be a little bit late for this Shrine activation, but should still be overall in a good spot. And now Jazz not gonna finish shoving in that lane. It will be pushing out passively. And most importantly, they do have the first move anyway. Being here early matters so much. And potential Scrim Thursday, they're the ones that do have that right. And they're already getting started on the skeletons, already up to it. But now AoE Rules might be getting caught, but is okay, has the extra jump. And now they have the stun onto Moon, and that's the target you definitely want. But the healing is strong enough for now. The Brush Stalker also coming in. Hero is on the front line. But with the Wraithwalk, going to be able to pre-cleanse, I guess, the drag. Now Zuriel gonna roll, but now they're onto Zuriel. They know they don't have the roll. They have the stun, and with the healing will be okay, but that's a lot of damage going on to the Greymane. Now Jazz trying to walk forward, able to get the stun over to the backside. Moon getting jumped by Mundane Zebra, and now Jazz is starting to fight, but Moon also getting low, and Moon has nowhere to go as Zuriel jumps on and is able to finish off the Anduin. Now Hero also in a bad spot. Same with Shoepuff. Shoepuff gonna Wraithwalk out of there, but it is starting to get quite low. A couple more grenades get lobbed into the backline. Hero half HP now. Do they have another stun? And with the concussion might not going to be enough for Hero, but Hero will get finished off. And Computex also low and will go down just they go over the wall. But now Jazz gets finished off. Mundane Zebra trying to get the resets through everyone and is able to get a bunch of them and able to get the last one. Moon is technically back up now, but that was all 5 members of potential Scrim Thursday going down as they're able to win the team fight quite heavily. But it is 32-9 in terms of skeletons, and the respawn timers aren't that long. Shoepuff's just trying to get more. Moon slowly DPSing onto their own. Chastise gets thrown out, but no longer here. Brush Stalker coming through as well as the Mortar Punisher does get finished off. So the fight definitely going the way of A Solid School, but the objective going the way of potential Scrim Thursday. How much value can they get from this? Hero going to tank the jump. Both no one else on the team really here for the push. How much value can they really get? They do have a pretty massive wave over on this bot side, and that's going to be a lot of miss soak. Hero having just used Brush Stalker, not going to be able to get there. So it's going to be more than half the wall. Actually, a good chunk of the wall. I didn't expect another shot from the mortar coming through, but now Hero trying to walk forward towards the mid lane. But C10 already threw out the stun. Won't be able to throw out another. But with Zuriel topside, they're feeling pretty confident to take the siege camp. Just need a couple more hits, and we'll be able to finish it off. Mundane Zebra trying to get out of the way, but will get hit by the concussion mine. So that's going to be another camp going their way. But Hero almost killing Computex in the bot lane during that. We'll be able to get this neutral camp. So may still be 2-1 camps. Now Shoopuf gonna get poked away, but will be able to just walk away safely with Wraithwalk. Hero, on the other hand, is in a bad spot, but it is Dehaka, is in stasis and slowed, and they have the Stormhammer. Do they have any other follow-up? Concussion Mine not gonna be there in time. Hero have so much move speed, makes it so difficult to play into it. And the trap is just going to get proc, but now the Cure hit by the concussion mine just for a little bit of poke. There's obviously no follow-up there, but C10 gets shadow charged into the wall. C10 will be just dwarf toss away to safety. And now the fight for this camp is beginning, but level 10's up for a solid school. It would be difficult to contest it on the side of potential Scrim, but they are looking for it. They're looking on to Jazz. They would get a decent amount of poke, but with the cleanses, Jazz will be okay. And I haven't mentioned this yet, but the simple geometry stacks are done. Chastise gets thrown out, not landed onto anyone, but they do have the double stun onto C10. We'll be able to just back away. Brush Stalker coming through as well. Hero looking for the drag, but Leap of Faith is in time. But now Computex getting jumped upon by Mundane Zebra, forced to jump over the wall, but does have healing waiting. Shoopuf gonna push out mid lane and then roam up top, just trying to get some soak for the team. They are a full level down. C10 just playing pretty aggressively, but they don't really care. The Cure in a bad spot. Stormhammer also gets thrown out. Concussion Mine gonna throw Jazz to the backline, but this might have helped Jazz. Azuriel jump to go to Computex with the D-Shield. Feels super confident. They have the stun. The Cure looking for another Moon. Able to jump back. And the X-Strike in the backline. The Dragon Arrow is not going to be enough to take down Cure. And now Jazz still hitting up front. C10 starting to get low and no healer here. They have the trap onto Jazz. But with the Cure and the Cask able to get the final shot onto C10. And Mundane Zebra looking for more jumps across half the map to chase that kill down. And now they could look towards the mid lane. They could look towards AoE rules. And they are looking towards AoE rules. They have the stun. Mundane Zebra wanted in on that kill, but the rest of the team says, you know what? This time we got it. You can rest up. Now they have a level and a half lead. They're pushing onto the wall already. Moon is back, but what can an Anduin do on their own? Probably just delay. The rest of the team doesn't seem to be walking up here quite yet. And now C10 is on the way. Chastise gets thrown out, not going to land, just trying to build some space. And Computex is here, same with C10. And they do have the stun, lands only on a Jazz. Chastise not going to go through. They have the cleanse. But do they have a follow-up? 4 members strong, still down here. Mundane Zebra gets onto the backline. Computex getting taken down so low. C10 throws the Stormhammer, lands only on 1. Chastise lands as well. And now Mundane Zebra with the X-Strike, able to get the kill and able to get the reset to jump away. And now they overpower onto Moon, and Azuriel will have the dome to buy some time, but it doesn't buy enough. Jazz will still be able to get that kill. And Mundane Zebra will be able to survive with a little bit of healing and the deflect. A solid school, really schooling potential Scrim Thursday right now. And they're performing extremely well. I can definitely see why Mundane Zebra had this hero banned in game number 1. This Genji is doing so much work. And that's not even to mention the fact that the rest of the team is performing wonders as well. The Jazz and the Cure combo just stunning non-stop. So much crowd control for the entire duration of every team fight. And the Arcane Punisher also gets finished off by Hero during all that. So now they have this push mid. They have a siege camp bottom. And they're going to get the jump onto Shoopuf, who did go into Wraithwalk, so not going to be any extra plays. And Moon just trying to get a little bit of poke over in the back. They have the concussion mine just to buy a little bit of time. As C10 walks forward, they have the Entomb onto Azuriel, but Lightning Breath just dealing so much damage in the backline with the D-Shield. They're not able to go on to Azuriel, and they still have the stuns over on both sides. C10 trying to survive as long as possible, and Hero will get hit by the rocket ride. He gets finished off. C10 able to jump away in time, but the final auto will come through. But the Punisher is still going. They have the stun. Shadow Charge. Azuriel to jump on top. And that's going to be a 3-for-1. That's going to be a mid fort. And the Siege Camp still trying to get the push, but overtime could end up in the bot side as well. Now, the one good thing going for potential Scrim Thursday right now is they do have this push, slowly but surely pushing away on the top side. We'll be able to at least poke the fort, but Mundane Zebra is on the way. And in the meanwhile, they do lose their Siege Camp over near the bot side. And they also are going to lose their bot fort as the wave finally arrives. And this fort actually took a lot more damage than I thought it would. I thought it would be sitting at around like 60%, but it's sitting at a solid 10. Now Shootpuff gonna walk up into Mundane Zebra. Obviously, Shootpuff should never really be able to get that kill, at least not until level 20. But now they are contesting onto this, but level 16 talents are here, but they just need to fight right now. They need to get whatever they can. They're throwing out so much damage, but it's just not enough. Now they try to throw the cure away, but now the heroes in the backline able to get the drag onto Moon, but instantly canceled. Moon trying to run away, but there's no fort here. Moon gonna get finished off. Dragon Arrow over in the backline, but Mundane Zebra is here, and the Entomb on his C10 will get the rocket ride, but with the deflect, Mundane Zebra will be all right. Hero is gonna get slowed, and now Shootpuff is going to survive as well. So it's a 2-for-0, but the aggressive play was made by potential Scrim Thursday, and they have to make those plays. They have to take those risks. Otherwise, they're just going to get run over. And now they're trying to throw them over the wall, but there is no more wall. It's already gone. Now they're looking towards Shootpuff. Jazz able to get the overpower, but we'll be able to back away. But in the meanwhile, Mundane Zebra just takes down AoE rules, because why not? And this Genji pick is providing so much value right now, with both Hanzo and Junkrat struggling to deal with it. Makes it so difficult for potential Scrim Thursday to play. But now they do have the D-Shield onto a 0. They had the extra stun, but the dome in the backline is buying so much time, and they finally had the damage. They got 2. And can they get more? C10 looking for Azuriel. Will be able to land the stun. Will be able to land the slow. Just needs the Stormhammer and will land it, but there's no follow-up from the rest of the team. Just trying to 1v1 onto a 0. Has the Dwarf Toss, has the extra hit, and with the final hammer, will be able to finish it off. Jazz, the final survivor outside of Hero, and will get finished off by Computex as well. But in the meanwhile, Hero's still getting something for a solid school, going to take down this top lane fort. So they have the kills, they close the level gap. It's still a level and a half though. But can they get something else? They've gotten the wall, but I don't think they have the time or the DPS to take down this mid lane fort. They're going to walk forward towards it though. It's Moon, C10, and Computex just trying to race for this as quickly as possible. Jazz is here though. Chastise is going to land, but the Brush Stalker from behind. Hero looking for the play. Not going to be able to land the drag, but it will definitely delay this push. They're not going to be able to get anything else as Moon walking up a little bit forward. I was a little bit precarious position, but does seem to be okay. But Leap of Faith going to protect Computex, and C10 is still in a good spot, but Hero trying to get onto Moon. They are looking. Another fight could be breaking down. There aren't even talent tiers. Entomb gonna keep the cure away, but now the Dragon Arrow is landing, but the Hero's just healing up from it naturally. Jazz is on the backline. Computex is there as well, and C10 is going to be in the dome this time, and Hero will get finished off. It's 1-for-0. The cure is going to follow. 2-for-0 so far. 2-for-1 now, as the extra gonna get used by Mundane Zebra for the escape. And they won't be able to land the angle with the scatter shot. Deflect was activated anyway, but now they're on to Jazz, and Azuriel's trying to get onto it as well, but C10 is healing up. They have the healing for it. Azuriel is going to be okay. Huge fight, but another victory for potential Scrim Thursday. They're able to get the 2-for-1. Moon and C10 will have to reset now, but this is going to give a huge first move for potential Scrim Thursday, and level 20 still isn't there. If they can get a decent amount from this Punisher, this could help get them caught up in XP just before the level 20 talents come through. And this Holy Word Salvation just doing so much wonder. I actually always thought it was called the Healing Dome, but I guess that's just its colloquial name. And potential Scrim Thursday, they're staging the comeback slowly but surely. They're doing what they need to do. Level 20, not hit quite yet, but AoE rules maybe in a bad spot. 3 members shoving down onto this mid lane keep. Jazz is 0 and Mundane Zebra. C10's going to be here as well. Dragon Arrow not going to be able to land. They're not going to be able to take down this mid lane keep, but C10 actually might have gone a little bit too far forward and will just get stun locked and finished off. Not able to pop the avatar to jump away in time. And now they're continuing this push onto mid lane. Without C10, it's going to be so much harder to defend. Shootpuff is going to be here in the backline. Level 20's already hit by a solid school. And it looks like they want to continue pushing. There is a Punisher pushing on the opposite side of the map, so they're not able to get too much with it. This will favor potential Scrim Thursday. But even just getting that one play alone, getting that one keep, already worth it. Now level 19, gonna be there very shortly for potential Scrim Thursday as the Frost Punisher continues the siege. Wall's going to be gone. Azuriel is very close though. Shouldn't be able to take down the keep, but should be able to at least finish off this wall. And now Azuriel gonna get jumped upon the cure, gonna be taking a couple of the autos. And the Punisher will walk forward, finish off this wall, and that should be all she wrote. Frozen Punisher gonna go down here, maybe one good slap on the keep, and one good jump just to get in everyone's way. A Bruiser Camp gonna get finished off by a potential Scrim Thursday during that. Same with the Siege Camp from a solid school. And now Mundane Zebra has the angle. They do see the players looking towards Moon. Will get hit by the Chastise. And Concussion Mine gonna get thrown out, but not enough. Mundane Zebra still walking away and might be in a bad spot. Forced to jump over the wall. They see Mundane Zebra, but the rest of the teams here, they have the Storm Hammer, and with the X-Strike is going to be able to dodge it out. Now able to just jump over the wall. Entomb lands on a Jazz, keeping Jazz away. But with the Blink, they're able to get there. Moon going to go down, but they do trade for Mundane Zebra. How much can they get from this Rocket Ride? Not going to be able to lock down Azuriel and the Cure, but C10 still looking to play aggressively as Hero just jumping on a Compute X. Should be able to get this solo kill as Shoopuf trying to buy time, but Hero is so fast. AoE rules will be there to protect them. And now Hero's in a bad spot. Gonna get set up, and so much DPS coming through. Has to go to stasis. And Hero will get the drag onto C10. C10 just trying to play around the traps. And they're doing so successfully. They still have the Concussion Mine, but Shoopuf not going to be as lucky as C10 and will go down. And it's a 2-for-1 in favor of a solid school. And now they're pushing it through this bot side, but there is a camp pushing top. So they have to send someone back. Jazz still looking to play forward. It's still only 2 members strong here right now for potential Scrim Thursday. C10 in a bad spot, but with the Concussion Mine, able to buy a little bit of time. Azuriel jumping forward. They have the Storm Bow. And they have the stun, double stun with the Sonic Arrow. They're still looking for Azuriel. Azuriel starting to get quite low. They're pinging on a Compute X though. And with the D-Shield, may be able to get it and will be able to get the kill. But now C10 not going to land the stun, unfortunately. Concussion Mine going to separate the fight. C10 still alive, jumping away with Dwarf Toss. As Azuriel gets so low, same with the Cure. But now Shoopuf is here. They have level 20. Level 20 and Tomb comes through, but they have the chain stuns. And Azuriel is going to be okay. And Shoopuf is going to be underneath the dome. And they're able to get 2. The Cure and Azuriel going to get finished off. Hero is going back in stage. But Mundane Zebra is here to jump on AoE rules. But Moon and C10 gets hit with the Lightning Breath. And it's just Shoopuf left alive in this team fight. Junkrat's back at home. And it's a 4-for-1 in favor of a solid school. Now, what can they get with this? It looks like they want to end the game. They don't have a massive wave, but they do have a healer, and they do have a frontline. AoE rules, trying to buy as much time as possible, but it's so difficult. Alone on the Junkrat. Will have the help of the Hanzo in about 10 seconds, but Jazz is going to get finished off just by the bouncing grenades. And do they have enough DPS to end the game? Hero gonna get rooted up with the traps coming through as well. It makes it so much harder. And the Dragon Arrow does land onto the Cure. Shoopuf trying to get onto it. Will respawn shortly. Has the Entomb immediately upon reset. And with the Wraithwalk, just needs a little bit more range. Will be able to get it. And now the Cure is stuck in there. And there's no way out. That will be their healer gone. Mundane Zebra trying to get something else. But Hero still running away. But Dahaka, you cannot chase a Dahaka. You cannot chase a Genji. But Hero actually still walking forward, feeling very confident. That Scatter Arrow dealt so much damage. The Sonic Arrow not going to land. Won't land the drag either. And going into those tight corridors into a Hanzo will always be a victory for the Hanzo. And a Shoopuf going to run back away. It is 5v3 on the map in favor of potential Scrim Thursday. And this game continues. Now C10 just trying to buy the zoning, trying to buy the space, and the Skeletons are going to get taken down. And this should be a free Punisher for potential Scrim Thursday. There's no reason for a solid school to fight it. They will likely lose their mid lane for this, but this is a trade they should be willing to do. And now, potential Scrim Thursday, they're also where they're not on the Bruiser camp. They know the Siege camp is getting finished off, and C10 might actually be trying to contest onto it. But with the stun lock, not going to be able to. But Mundane Zebra still in the play. They could be looking for another fight. Dragon Arrow not going to land. So not going to be able to get anything else there. But I like the look from potential Scrim Thursday. They're looking for those aggressive plays. They're looking to try and get those staggered death timers. And now they've already taken down this mid lane fort. Will even out the map state just a little bit. And they still have a full health Punisher, or near full health, pushing out in this mid lane. Will jump onto the backside as the rest of the team is just going to be DPSing onto the structures. And the Mortar Punisher does so much damage to these buildings. The mid lane wall is going to get finished off. A little bit of poke damage onto this mid lane keep as well. But that should be able to survive at about half HP. And now X-Strike gonna get thrown in the backline, but just gonna be used defensively. And Leap of Faith gonna keep C10 from a bad spot. But now potential Scrim Thursday, they're on a timer. There's a push happening in the bot side. Their top lane should be okay for the next little while. But someone will definitely need to deal with this bot side. They do lose their wall during that play, as the Siege Camp also gonna get collected by potential Scrim Thursday. But now the next fight seems to be happening over towards this top side, and they're setting up a death brush. It is going to be Huron. They see AoE Rules. That's a target you definitely want. And AoE Rules trying to survive. Moon will be able to throw down the dome, and they will be able to be safe inside. An X-Ray coming through in the meanwhile. Computex just trying to run away, and they have the silence. They have the stun, but they're still losing on the front line as well. Moon just trying to get away, trying to survive as long as possible. There's no keep here in time. And now C10 able to get one kill. Jazz starting to get quite low as well. Shoot Pop looking for Mundane Zebra as a zero jumps on the backline. Jazz, in the meanwhile, gonna get finished off, but no, the final heals coming through from the Cure, and the Cure respawns. They have the Sonic Arrows time as well. And a zero looking to the backline, able to get two, and just gonna jump away. They have the drag on a Shoot Pop, X-Strike over the top, and that should be it. That should be the game. C10 last survivor. And all 5 members of Solid School are up. They're gonna start hitting onto this. Avatar is available, but there's just no further stats ready. C10 will get finished off, and it's going to be a 2-0 domination for a Solid School. And right here in the game summary, this is the first time I could take a breath this entire game. 49 kills, almost 50 in a 22-minute game. Both of these two teams, they love to brawl. They want to keep pushing. They want to keep fighting. And a Solid School maintained their dominance for most of the game, but potential Scrim Thursday, they were definitely able to show moments of life, and they showed so much heart, trying to push aggressively. Whenever they saw they had the opportunity, whenever they had a slight lead, they tried to take more. But unfortunately for them, a Solid School able to take the second map as well and get the domination. Now I'm gonna see if I can get an interview going. Give me one moment. Ta-da. And I also should change my... Oops, that's one. All right, and they said they should be sending someone over. And I am joined by Lloyd. Hello, hello.
Hello.
So, congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
Another 2-0, another domination, 4 more points going up into the standings. So how does it feel?
Feels good. Felt like our team was just out for blood tonight, and we got our blood.
Yes.
Got everything we wanted.
Yeah, the Greymane definitely able to just jump into the backline, getting so many kills and so much confidence in the Cure to be able to keep them alive during those dives. I assume this is a well-practiced tool for your team?
Yeah, it's been something that we could have always played, and it just enables one of our DPS to do what is best at. So
yeah, and it
seems to be working pretty well.
Yeah, I'd say with this domination, you're at 18 points, only 1 point off of first place. Hinting for Globes, who are currently at 19, though I believe you will have 1 extra game over them. Now, do you think that first place position will be in reach for you?
I think that it is definitely in reach. I feel like overall, like our team is doing pretty well this season, and the more we play, the better we get. It seems like so. I feel very confident with our team getting number one very soon.
And I'm definitely looking forward to that. It's a huge blast watching you play. 49 kills in the second game in just a 22-minute map. Now, is this aggressive style something you want to keep up? Like, obviously, you pick the Greymane, you pick the Genji, both very in-your-face, aggressive DPSs. Now, are we going to be able to see more of that in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like this is, at least for me, it's really what I like. It's like team fighting the most, and I feel like on BOE, the very first fight we had with like 5 people, like close to Intim, was like very exciting to see, like just people fighting each other until like just the last one standing. So I'm hoping for more team fighting like this during this season.
Yeah, I know myself and all the viewers back home are definitely looking forward to it as well. Battlefield of Eternity, I DM'd you this. Perfect choice. If you love fighting, that's definitely the map. And now for my final question, my usual final question. Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans, to the audience?
Yeah, overall, just keep playing the game. I feel like Heroes is a very fun game, even though it's been out for a long time. It is worth playing. Uh, if you ever watch the stream and you're like, should I play this game? I think that you should. What it's worth, and shout out to anybody that appreciates our team playing, and also a shout out to you, Tokibi, for casting here. Like almost every single games of our season.
Oh, really? I just take whatever works out for the schedule. Yeah, I guess this is my second or third time casting you, isn't it?
Probably closer to like the 4th or 5th, but yeah.
Oh. Whoops. Yeah, I don't keep track. I just take whatever's on schedule. You just happen to be there. But either
All
way,
good.
well played. Congratulations again, and thank you for the interview.
Thank you. You're welcome. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye. And with that, we're going to start wrapping up tonight as well. One final shout out to Tiki Solitaire 3peaks. If you love this stream, if you're enjoying these casts, the number one way to support me, besides watching, will be to download and just complete a few levels. Try it out, hit level 1, hit level 5, don't like it, drop it there. My job's just to get you to give them the good attempt. Now with that, that'll be it for me today. I may or may not cast tomorrow. I haven't picked a game up yet. I may be busy, but there's plenty of open games available. So if I'm able to cast, you'll definitely see me tomorrow. And with that, have a good night, and I'll send you over to whatever series is still going on next.